It's not worth it. Not at all. Why do you want to fight?
What you talking about? I just told you why.
No, you didn't, guys. Why do you want to fight? I get why they want to fight you. I know what they're fighting for. What about you? Listen to me, you got everything to lose. He's got nothing to lose.
Oh, look at this! Ramseur!
Okay, it's early in the morning, just to crack it down there. Me and my partners, we
Touchdown! Big time! Wolfpack touchdown, 44 yards.
Hey, no, snow your bitch, fucking that bitch, no fame. She sucking my dick so cause she leave me with no brain. Coming up.
Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Bienvenidos a Multiverso True Freshman. Yo soy Adri Fraguas, en esta nueva era, en este nuevo canal, en este nuevo, como sabéis, yo soy el agente del caos, entonces voy a aparecer por aquí haciendo lo que me dé la gana, cuando me dé la gana y como me dé la gana, pero siempre queriendo mucho a los deportistas y al juego porque es mi pasión. Y hoy tenemos una entrevista que esto es una puñetera barbaridad, una puta barbaridad, ¿qué coño? Estoy en mi canal, si me lo cierran es cosa mía. Antes de presentar la entrevista, ¿qué tal, Barto, tío? Barto46 en las redes sociales, ¿cómo estás, tío?
Pues de puta madre, Ari. Siempre a gusto contigo, así que cada vez que me llamas aquí me presento como un clavo.
Sí, te agradezco personalmente que hayas venido hoy porque estás ahí en medio del camping, medio de verano y tal, y sabes, si estás esperando patrujarte un poco para hacer primero la entrevista, entonces yo te lo agradezco especialmente. Entonces nada, vamos a pasar rápido a la entrevista, vamos a tener con nosotros en medio del Fall Camp, porque está en el medio del Fall Camp, acaba de entrenar hacía 10 minutos, o sea, esto está grabando desde Nevada, Pacific Time, a sus 12:30 de la mañana más o menos, que es nuestras 9:30 de la noche. Y él estaba en el medio del Fall Camp, nos atendió Ramseur, espero pronunciarlo bien, por Dios, el running back de Nevada, de la Universidad de Nevada, del Wolfpack, que hicimos ahora mismo la entrevista, es un chico que merece muchísimo la pena esta entrevista. O sea, yo estoy súper contento de poder haber conseguido esto en medio de un entrenamiento. No sabéis lo difícil que es esto. O sea, yo estoy súper agradecido a él. Así que nada, Bart, ¿qué te parece? Vamos a ver la entrevista y nos vemos ahora para la reacción.
Vamos con ello.
Bienvenido a Multiverso True Freshman, Caleb. Gracias por aceptar nuestra invitación en una hora libre que tenéis en medio de este Fall Camp. Primero, ¿cómo estás y cómo está yendo este Fall Camp?
So, Caleb, welcome to Multiverso True Freshman. We appreciate you taking the time to join us during a break here in Fall Camp. First of all, how are you feeling and how's camp been treating you so far?
Feeling okay, dealing with a little bit of, body aching things, and that's just a part of football, So camp has been, a little tough, as it should be, As a player, you gotta, push through things. So that's what I've been doing, pushing through camp and just trying to get ready for the season and make sure that I'm ready for the season. So that's how camp's been so far.
Bien. Antes de meternos en el presente, nos gustaría conocerte un poco más, paso a paso, tu viaje hasta ahora. ¿De dónde eres, dónde creciste y cuándo empezaste a jugar a fútbol?
So before digging into the present, we would like to know you a better from your start about your journey. Tell us step by step where you're from, where did you grow up, and when did you start playing football?
Yeah, so I was born in Bellflower, California, which is in Southern California. I started playing football really since I was 5. My brothers played for the Inglewood Jets, and at that age, at 5, you couldn't start playing. So I was the team mascot. I used to dress up for the games with the pads and all that stuff. And then I started playing at 6 flag football for the Inglewood Jets as well. Going through that, playing since I was 6 all the way through high school and now through college. Um, I've been playing since I was young, so I've always had love for the game. I started off playing football and then I also played basketball as well. That's another sport that I love dearly, but football was number one for me. My mom and my dad, were very supportive of me since I was a kid. They always came to the games and supported me, took me to the games. A lot of traveling just to get here. My brothers, I have four brothers that play football as well. Um, and they all played at youth, and now they're off into their different ventures in life. My youngest brother, he's going into high school this year. He's going to be playing varsity as a freshman, which is pretty impressive. Um, my oldest brother, he's a professional boxer, and my middle brother, he's a very successful. He does engineering stuff, and he has his own business as well. So he's doing good for himself. So overall, my family, we are very tight and close. My brothers and sisters, and I also have two children. I have two daughters, Yamaya and Shalia, and their mom as well is very special, to me. She helps us out, and we've been through a lot, especially starting off with junior college, going from high school to junior college, playing 2 years at Butte College, and then after going to Butte College, going to Morehead State for a year. When we went to Morehead State, we had no idea about the area, non-scholarship school. Um, Not having a car as well, it made that difficult, especially with my first child being born in the springtime. Getting there, I had to walk everywhere in the snow, to train. That was like probably one of my greatest accomplishments for myself. I feel the journey of going through those hardships at Morehead State, not being on scholarship for one, having to walk to school, ride a bike to school, then the bike pops, then I got to walk again, then spraining my ankle, having to have be in a boot and ride a bike to school in order to get things done. I think that was just a special part of my journey, learning how to be on my own and fight through things at Morehead State. I was so proud of my journey there. And then getting to Nevada, I really had other scholarships, but I took a walk on spot here at Nevada, um, starting off last year when I entered my junior season. I knew that I was good enough. People may not see it, but I knew what I was capable of. So I took that opportunity and I earned a scholarship within 6 months, which is pretty hard because most guys don't earn scholarships until 3 to 4 years into their journey as a walk on. So I earned that scholarship, started playing right away, and doing whatever for my team, special teams, blocking on third and short and stuff like that at the beginning of the season. And then I ended up, going through another hardship, getting injured, um, like week four, and then I was nursing that injury, playing through the season, still playing while being not 100%. And then I finally got my opportunity to touch the ball while being injured, so it wasn't the best of me, but I made it work. Got a touchdown against Boise State, where I re-injured it again, but I've pushed through, finished the season, and was but somebody that could people can count on my team last year. So that got me in the position that I am now as one of the older guys on the team, and I'm going to continue to push forward to reach my dreams. So that's really my journey, going through high school, college, and hopefully to the next level.
Ujú.
Ujú.
Sí, así
Adri,
nos hizo. Sí.
sí, nos ha respondido a las siguientes tres preguntas, desde que yo que tú tiraría a la de que le preguntas para conocerle más en el campo, la que le preguntamos a ver sobre
Sí,
la
porque
posición.
nos contó tal, sí. Antes de meternos en tu tiempo de este año de Nevada, nos gustaría conocerte más en el campo. Juegas de running back, una posición que nos apasiona. ¿Cómo te describirías como jugador y qué es lo que más te disfrutas sobre el juego y cómo es el movimiento que más te gusta, esa característica como tu signature?
So, Caleb, before we dive into your time at Nevada, we want to get to know you a bit more on the field. You play as a running back, a position we really love. How would you describe yourself as a player? What do you enjoy the most about the game? And is there a move or trade you call your signature?
Um, as a running back, I feel like I'm a versatile back. I feel like I'm an all-purpose back. I can block, I can catch, I can run. I think my greatest skill as a running back is being able to run through contact and wear people down, because some running backs are just, speed and agility, but I feel like I can do everything. I feel like I can, do things that people don't normally see in a running back. I can play special teams. My JUCO running back coach and head coach called me a Swiss Army knife for a reason, because I can long snap as well on special teams. And, I'm great running down on kickoff. I'm great kick return. I could really kick return, when I have to. I can do all those things that make a running back versatile, as well as a running back. So I feel like I just bring so much to the table as a football player in general, not just a running back. But as a running back, my special signature move I think is a spin move. Everybody talks about my spin move. I when I break off a contact, it's going to be a spin move ensuing. But I also like my, when I'm facing up on a defender, I know that I'm going to make a miss with a, what I like to call a stab cut, which is basically like a sharp cut, and you cutting up field, make a miss, and nobody's going to tackle me on that first tackle. So I feel like that's something I am very good at, and it's a special move of mine, especially that spin move as well.
Ujú.
So to do that move, you really focus on the defender's steps, or you wait till he's at a certain distance, or how do you do it? Is something more instinctive,
It's
or
just I think it's just a feeling. I go off of, how I'm feeling. It's like an instinct thing. It just happens. It's not necessarily a calculated thing. I work on it when it's off season. I calculate it during
yeah?
off season when I try to step on the cone. If I'm using the cone, I try to get close as I can to the cone and then make that sharp cut. But when it's game time, I feel like it's more of a muscle, reaction and instinct that I just have innately that's just in me. So, I don't really try to, do things extra, just, do it how my body tells me to do it.
Ujú.
Mhm.
Nos encantaría un poco acercarnos a cómo es un fall camp. Es un equipo universitario, ya aquí en España no tenemos mucha información. Más o menos cuánto dura, cómo es una semana para vosotros, cómo es un día, cómo distribuís cada tiempo. Un poco todo lo que nos puedas contar para nosotros sería oro.
Okay, Lev, we would love for you to bring us a little closer to what a Falcon is, like on a college football team. We don't have much information about fall camps. How long does it usually run? What's a typical week like for you guys, and how's a day structured in terms of time and activities? Honestly, anything you can share with us is gold.
Yeah, yeah. So fall camp is like it takes sometimes 3 weeks depending on when you start. Teams may take 3 weeks or 4 weeks. The first week is like an acclimation week. People, coming off of summer training, you know, get the players acclimated to, running practice. You know, they use it, so some teams like to do it in the morning, some teams like to do it at night or the middle of the day where it's the hottest. Um, and it's just a grind. It's every day. You got a lot of meetings. You got a lot of, you got some breaks and stuff like that. But those are very short, because you got to get out there and practice. You got to go through walkthrough. You got to do several different things in order to be ready for the game and stuff like that coming in the weeks, right? So that lasts for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then when they get their depth charts going, they start doing a mock week for the game that's coming up for the first game, and they prepare their team and stuff like that. And then after that, that's fall camp. It's just a long process. It's like doing the same thing every day. How can I explain it? Uh like say you're a fast food worker at a restaurant. It's like making a burger every day, same way, doing it
Mhm.
the same exact way every day, and dishing it out to the customer. So I think that's really what fall camp is. It's a repetitive thing, and seeing who can outlast and be ready for the season. That's really what it is.
Mhm.
Ujú.
Okay.
Interesante. Entras en tu temporada senior en Nevada. ¿Qué objetivos tienes marcados para ti esta temporada personalmente y cuáles crees que perseguiréis como equipo?
You're entering your senior season at Nevada. What goals have you set for yourself personally, and what do you think you and the team are aiming for do together this year?
Some things that I'm aiming for is to, be the player that I need to be for my team and to accomplish goals that are things that I have not done before. A lot of people get caught up in, numbers and stats, but I'm caught up in being able to get myself to reach my goals and my dreams, which you need stats for that, right? So my goal is to, get myself to the next level. I want to play pro football. I want to go to the NFL. And most importantly, I want to play at the next level and be wherever that is. I want to be the best running back of all time. So um, it just starts with, just going out there and being that guy, that it doesn't, the numbers really don't matter. It's about everybody sees who's the best player on the field. That's what I want to be. I want to go out there and, I do want to rush for 1,000 yards, which I believe I will do. I do want to catch, couple touchdowns. I want to score as much as I can. I want to do everything that I need to do in order to get me to my goal and my dream, which is making it here, right? So really just going out there and being the player that I need to be for my team, that will take care of every personal goal that I have.
So, as you mentioned that you want to do as many yards as possible. If the play call is more focused on passing or something like that, you get mad or you try to push to the quarterback to give you the ball or something like that.
No. I'm not that type of player. If they give a pass call, of course you want to run the ball as a running back. If they give a
Yeah,
pass call, I'm actually excited because I'm going to knock the defender's head off with the pass protection, right? So you got pass protection and you got a chance to catch the ball in open space as well. Because as a running back,
yeah,
they're either not going to cover you or they're going to cover you and somebody else is going to be open. So like I said before, like my goals for the season is to be the player that I need to be for my team because
yeah.
if I'm getting covered, somebody else is getting open. We're scoring a touchdown, right? If I'm not covered and somebody else is getting covered, I'm open and we're going to score a touchdown. When team success happens, personal success happens. So I think that being a team first player, passing and rushing, it doesn't matter. You got to do what you got to do for the team. And at the professional level, scouts are looking at how can you protect. How if you are you a liability in the
And
pass pro, and if you're a liability, that's a bad thing, right? And I know I'm not a liability because I can do everything. I can do it all. I can pass pro, I can catch the ball, I can run. So when I get out there and it's a pass protection or a pass play, I'm excited because I get to showcase what I can do in pass protection.
Muy
nice.
interesante. Esta la voy a cambiar un poco, Bartu, así que atento en el inglés.
Perfect.
En cuanto a eso de los entresijos como running back, ¿no? Has dicho que puedes hacer un poco todo en el campo. ¿Cómo es un poco cómo entrenáis para mejorar cada apartado, ¿no? La protección de pase, el correr entre tackles, el correr por fuera. ¿Cuánto tiene de ver también lo que es la visión vuestra? Porque tú tienes un call, una jugada y la intuición de cómo se abre el gap, cuánto tenéis que improvisar. Cuéntanos un poco sobre cómo es ser un running back.
So diving into the ins and outs of playing a running back, we would like to know how do you train specifically for pass protection, to making reads, to deciding whether to fit between the tackles or bounce it outside, and is there we imagine there is a kind of component of your instincts or no, to try to read how open is going to be that gap or.
Yeah, so there's a plethora of things that I like to do to train, in off season. Specifically if I'm training pass protection per se, right? I've got a medicine ball and I'm punching that medicine ball. We even have in the weight room, we have some, punching machines where you can, you got like a person's body, like their torso, and you can punch it,
Yeah.
right? It's a machine. So I get on that in off season. I do 5 sets of 20 on that, punching it and making sure my form is right, working on engaging my chest and getting my head back because a lot of running backs in pass protection, they get their head forward and they can get their head pulled down and the defender can get
Yeah.
around them. But if you can keep your head back and keep your chest forward and your hands out, there's not a lot of defenders that can get around you if you're punching them properly. So that is the things I work on with pass protection and technique. Um, in regards to running the ball, I like to train different things, right? Some days I will work on running, I'll make a cut and I'll go 60 yards to the house because you got to work on, running all the way to the end zone. You want to make big time plays, you got to, work in that way. So, other than that, I like to work on as well, uh, doing some, like with cutting. I like to set up cones and cut around the cones and make moves around the cones in order to work on my agility, work on making people miss. Um, and I can even set that up, with the offense. Like we run outside zone. I'll do my footwork. I'll run the, read and then make the cut. And then I'll get upfield. And then there's another cone where it's mimicking a defender. So then I'll cut off that cone as if it's a defender and I'll get to the end zone. So that's enough. Those are the variation of ways I do things. I work on cuts with cones or ladders for agility. And I do the pass pro stuff as well. So those are the things I work on and just doing that. Remember, repetitive. That's what matters in football. If you can work on the same move 10,000 times, you're going to be a perfectionist at it.
Yeah.
Vale, pensando en el futuro, al acabar la temporada, ¿no? Tú eres senior, No sé muy bien si tienes más o menos estructurados tus planes, cómo sería para ti jugar al siguiente nivel en la NFL, seguir como profesional, sería un sueño para ti. Y si tienes claro si es como el paso que quieres dar ya inmediatamente, porque claro, yo no sé cómo está el tema de la elegibilidad ahora con el tema de Diego Pavia, el Original College, creo que podría ser un año más. ¿Crees que va a ser tu last dance de cara al profesionalismo o tienes otros planes?
So, Caleb, looking ahead beyond this season, how do you picture your future? Is playing in the NFL something that you dream about? You mentioned that,
Yeah.
yes, but do you feel that you're going to attend the draft this year, or you are going to wait another year? Or
Yeah, so this is my senior year, so it's either I go to the draft and get drafted, and if I don't get drafted, I'm trying to play at whatever league that accepts me and then work my way up because you've seen this year there's a lot of guys going from smaller leagues that are going up to the NFL in the preseason. So I've seen various examples of guys going starting off at the smallest league, right? Nobody even watches it, and they care about the game so much, and they've been believed in their ability, and they've trained to get to that level. There's like a running back in the CFL called his name is Justin Rankin. I was watching him in the IFL a couple years ago, and he played there, and I'm just watching the journey. He's a great running back, and he's sitting there working on in the IFL and just keep playing, and then goes to the Elks in the CFL, gets cut, goes back to the Elks. He's persevering, man, and I saw that journey, and he's now their starting running back. You know, and a lot of guys don't love football that much, and I'm one of those guys that love it that much. So I'm going to try to do whatever I can do to get myself to the highest level now, but if it doesn't happen, I'm going to find a way to get there whenever that time is. So that's my goal, to play professional, no matter where it is. That's what I want to do.
Mhm.
Tras de proces, ¿no? Se diría. Nos gustaría conocerte un poquito más fuera del campo, no sé si tienes aún un rato más para nosotros y nada, presentar un poco fuera del campo cuáles son tus principales aficiones, cómo sería un día divertido para ti.
So, Caleb, we don't know how much time we have left, but we would like to get to know you a better on the field, like some off-topic questions to get to know you better. Which are your main hobbies, and what does a fun day look for you?
My main hobbies are it's kind of crazy because I got to do some of them yesterday on the off day. I like to go to the movies. I like to watch movies in general, right? So I went and seen Weapons, the new movie with the kids and stuff like that. It's a pretty scary movie. So I like to watch movies, go to the movie theaters. I like to eat out, and just enjoy time with my family. I also like to play the game. As every sorry about that. As Oops, sorry. Hold on. Let me fix that.
No,
No
it's okay.
problema.
All right, perfect. So I like to play the game as like every young guy likes to do. They like to play the Xbox and PS5. I like to play college football, and I also do something with that. I like to treat it like it's film. Treat it like I'm trying to read the blocks, make cuts, and I like to use my running back on the game and focus on becoming better with my vision. So that's what I like to do on my free time too. I like to play the game, spend time with my family, relax, watch movies, go out to eat. I also like to work out in the gym. I have a little background in powerlifting too, so I like to do that too. So yeah.
Mhm.
Sí, tenía preguntas más específicas sobre esos hobbies, ¿no? ¿Cuál es tu artista o grupo de música favorito?
Do you have any favorite music artist or music style?
Favorite? Say that again.
Do you have a favorite music artist or music style?
Oh, music categories. I
Yeah.
like R&B. So like I like a little bit of I like a lot of things. So like R&B, some rap. I like R&B and like soul music, like old school music. I like a lot of that stuff. There's another category I like. I like bachata music. So I don't know if you guys know like bachata music. I like that. What else? I think that's
Do
about
you
like my category that I surround. There's these
do you
artists called
dance?
I've been
Do you dance it?
do I dance?
Yeah, bachata.
No, I'm not good enough to dance yet. I've tried,
Okay.
but I'm not good enough. But I have been to several like it's in California. These things called jariperos. I've been to that twice, I think, and I enjoy my time there. But I've never danced bachata. It's a little hard.
Hablaste que te gustan mucho las películas. ¿Cuál es tu película favorita y tu serie favorita, ya que te gusta ese género?
You mentioned that you like the movies. Do you have any favorite movie or any favorite TV series?
Yes. My favorite. I have three favorite movies of all time. So, Happy Gilmore. You know, Adam Sandler's my favorite actor. So that's probably one of my, and then Kicking and Screaming by Will Ferrell. That's another movie I like. And then I would say the third is like my childhood movie called The Longest Yard. You know, Great Khali, the wrestler. You got Nelly on there. That movie was like my favorite. I used to watch that every single day. Just based off of like the football scenery. It just was a great movie. Um, those are my like top three. You know, Friday Night Lights. I like the categories as well. Is really just comedy, drama, suspense, um, horror. You know, I'm not versatile. I like the main things that normal people like just like. But you know, I'm very into movies. You know, those are things that I like to do in my free time.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Si no jugaras a fútbol, ¿a qué otro deporte te gustaría practicar como profesional?
Caleb, you mentioned a lot of sports, but if you didn't play football, which other sport would you love to play?
Basketball. If I grew to 6'5", then I would be playing basketball and football at the same time. So, you know, basketball is the second sport I was introduced to as a kid. I started off, I wasn't like I was just a football player, so like I didn't know how to like play. And when I moved up to Northern California, to Elk Grove, I started playing AAU basketball, and my Coach Jerry, he used to like have me before practice teaching me how to drop dimes and pass the ball and then make my layups because I was really horrible at first. And then I played all from then. I was like 10 years old. I was playing from then until I was a senior in high school. And, you know, when I got to like 13, 14, I was really a master at it in AAU. I was a good shooter. I played great defense, and I was, you know, the guy on my team. So, um, and it just was, you know, my second love. I really loved basketball, and I still do, you know, on my free time, which is not now. Like when it's off
Mhm.
season, I like to play it, but I also, you know, stop playing it because you can get injured with that. So, but that's just my second love. I even like to go. This is one thing I forgot to mention. I like to go to arcades, and I go straight to that basketball machine and try to break the record every day. So
Yeah,
I go there and shoot on that little hoop in the arcade room. So that's something I like too.
cool.
¿Hay algún deportista de otro deporte que admires o que te fijes en él?
Do you have any athlete from another sport that you really admire?
From another sport that I admire, I would say yes. It's kind of hard to decide because there's a couple of them I'm thinking of. Um, but I would go with, you know, I'm gonna go with a movie character, two of them, right, for good reason and good measure. So I'm gonna go with Rocky, and I'm gonna go with Creed. So the reason being is because their stories are, you know, things that I identify with. My story, I've had a rocky road. I've had things that have set me back. Even currently, I'm having setbacks, but I know I'm gonna prevail. Just like their stories, Rocky, you know, having, you know, to train and do all the things that he did, and then get beat up in the first round, in the second round, third round, and then come back at the end of the fight and win the fight. Right. That's just what my journey is about, and I identify with that. You know, perseverance. Creed. Same thing with him, not having his father. Right, his father passing away early on in his life, being in foster care, having setbacks, and then, you know, later in the movie he comes and wins the national title, becomes the best boxer in the world. So um, I think, you know, those things are what I identify. Those are some athletes from movies, from other sports that I admire.
Uh-huh. Vale,
Okay.
¿sigues la NFL? ¿Eres de en un equipo desde pequeño? ¿Y hay algunos jugadores de la actualidad o legendarios que te guste fijarte o que los admires jugando o algo?
Do you follow the NFL? Do you support any particular team, or do you have any favorite players?
I have a favorite player. I like to watch the Chiefs because but not as much anymore because Tyreek Hill has left to the Miami Dolphins. That was my favorite player. Um, I like a couple guys that I like. Well, I got to support my former teammates. So, Keaton Crawford, he is playing for the Arizona Cardinals. He got a pick in last preseason game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and another guy that I kind of played against during high school that was a second round draft pick. You guys know him. He had got drafted second round to the Titans. Femi Oladejo. I know him from we're from the
Wow.
same area. And
We have
he's
we
a
have him.
dog.
We have an interview. We have two interviews with him
Yeah, yeah,
a few
yeah.
months
He's a
ago.
dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a
yeah.
dog. And he's very positive, and that's my guy. Another guy is one of our teammates, another one of my teammates from last year. He got picked up by the Buccaneers, Jaden Smith. Supportive of guys that I know. And my favorite player is Saquon Barkley. Ever since he was in high school, that's been my favorite guy. As a running back, I love the way he moves, the way he plays, and the way he works in the weight room. So I wanna do what he did on this pro day and bench 30 reps on the
Mhm.
bench press. That's the guy that I like to watch. So yeah.
Yeah,
Sí.
nice.
Ahora que hilamos ahora con lo de Second Barkley, ¿no? Que jugó para Penn State, ¿no? Quedan menos de 3 semanas para el kickoff. ¿Qué es lo que más estás impaciente? Empezáis con Penn State en el Líder Stadium. ¿Qué es lo que más impaciente estás por ese comienzo, por ese kickoff?
So we are less than 3 weeks until kickoff, and you're starting the season against Penn State at Beaver Stadium. What are you most excited for that game?
I'm just excited for this process of getting healthy, right? You know, don't know the timetable or the journey, just trying to push forward and reach my goals. So that's what I'm most excited for, the opportunity to go there and just go out there and establish myself. A lot of people know that that's the number 2 team in the country, right? So I want to go out there and be elite. I want to be elite in pass protection. I want to be elite in the run game. I want to be elite in catching the ball. I want to be elite and being a great teammate, right? To my other teammates that are going to get opportunities to ball out, right? So I just want to be the guy that I need to be for my team, and then everything personal will take care of itself. Um, and it's just a great environment as well. Going into the that stadium, that environment is going to be lively. So that's an opportunity for us to go out there and execute our game plan and start our season off right. So that's what I'm excited for.
Mhm.
¿Cuál es tu mejor recuerdo hasta ahora en el fútbol y cuál es el más divertido o algo que se pueda contar, alguna anécdota divertida?
Well, Caleb, we want to know what's your best memory so far in football. A funny story or something that you can share with us.
My best memory so far, right, has to be um when I would say high school. I'm gonna go back to high school because this was a time where I was going through an injury and I had hurt my knee in the regular season and I already eclipsed 1,000 yards. And we were playing a team that was, lackluster. They weren't as good as us. So it kind of devastated me. We were blowing them out and I got hurt. Um, and it was my senior season. So like I was trying to, establish myself and get an opportunity, a scholarship. So I was very distraught about this. So I played hurt the next week, but I really didn't run the ball or anything like that. And starting off the playoffs, I was still not full speed, and I played in the game, and I scored 3 touchdowns, and I was limping and stuff like that. So it was kind of crazy. Then we got to the next week, and we had to play on the road versus St. Mary's, and they were a really good team. They had a few guys that went Division 1 out of high school, so went out there and I had like 34 carries and carried my team offensively. And we had another guy that was balling out too, Prophet Brown, and he plays for USC right now. He's a pretty good DB. And me and him were just going off against St. Mary's, and we ended up winning that game 28-21. Then we had to play the number 1 team in our whole section that hadn't lost a game in 10 years in the playoffs to anybody in our section. Um, which is Folsom, right? They have Elijah Badger, who is playing for the Chiefs. He got an undrafted sign free agency. And they
Yeah.
had another guy that went to camp for the Raiders, Cameron Broussard. We played against them. They had a couple guys. Daniel Nagata, who was a 4-star recruit. They had guys on that team. Everybody was telling us we were going to lose that game, and even our own school. So we went out there. We beat them. I had 3 touchdowns. I had 40 carries in that game, and we ended up beating them 32-23 or something like that. And it was a great environment because that was the first time that's happened to Folsom, right? So that was probably my greatest memory so far, going on that journey, on that, hardship, hurting myself and finding a way to get back for my team. And that was just the greatest part of that. So
So the next Monday after the game, you were like 3 feet tall, 10 feet tall, no? That's cool, no?
Vale, para acabar, que no queremos robarte mucho más tiempo, que sé que estás muy ocupado. La última, como sabes, somos de España y este año por primera vez se juega un partido de la NFL aquí en España. Ojalá nos encantaría conocerte en persona, jugando aquí a lo mejor, o sea, visitándola. ¿Conoces algo de España? ¿Has venido alguna vez a jugar aquí de visita o te gustaría venir de viaje o a jugar?
So, Caleb, the last question. This year in Spain is going to be the first NFL game, and we want to know if you know anything about Spain. If you have traveled there some time, or if is in your plans to come here to visit, or we like to know you in person too.
Yeah. That's I like how the NFL is like, branching out and going to Spain and Britain and stuff like that and spreading the game. I think that's good for the world. I think that's, a blessing that fans that are all the way in Spain get to see, an NFL game live, because like imagine having to fly all the way from Spain to America to watch your favorite team play when, they give you a chance, coming down to Spain. So I think that's amazing. I've never traveled to Spain. I'm not opposed to it. I would love to do that. I want to travel. I want to see different places because I've been in America my whole life. I've barely seen anything. So Spain is probably like a great destination for me. That would be nice to visit. Especially the nice buildings and stuff like that from what is it, the Renaissance era? I'm a little rusty on my history, but they have historical stuff there. So I would love to go down there and see that. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good thing that they're starting to branch out and play games in places like Spain and Britain, and I think it's going to be a great one this year.
Uh-huh.
Pues nada, muchísimas gracias, Caleb. Yo lo que espero es que como Rocky acabe muy bien la película, que seas, sabes, que tengas tu final deseado. Sé que eres un chico que ha trabajado mucho para llegar a donde estás y hay que confiar en el proceso, en Trust the Process. Yo estoy seguro que va a hacer una gran temporada. Y nada, espero que sea la primera charla de alguna otra porque eres encantador y muchísimas gracias por estar con nosotros y te vamos a apoyar mucho y seguir mucho. Vamos a seguir en contacto.
So, Caleb, it's been a pleasure for us having you here. We expect that as Rocky, your journey will be successful, and we wish you nothing but the best. Maybe later during the season or when the season is over, we would like to get in contact with you. And if you want to share your thoughts about this season, you will be more than welcome here in True Freshman, and nothing more than the best for you in this season. Best of luck, and we are sure that you're gonna make it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much for this interview. I appreciate you guys taking the time to interview me today. And I'm definitely willing to come back during the season or after the season is done, and we can revisit, everything we talked about. I think that would be a nice thing to do. And I thank you guys for covering me and giving me the opportunity to express myself in this journey that I've been on and to share it with others. Thank you guys so much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Caleb.
Bye. See you guys later.
Bye, Caleb. Pues esto ha sido todo, tío, Bartu. O sea, este chaval tiene que acabar como Chris o como Rocky triunfando, porque lo ha tenido difícil, es un tío que ha luchado mucho que ha empezado en una junior college, en la misma junior college que Aaron Rodgers, por cierto, que me ha quedado con ganas, pero como no había mucho tiempo, no me quise parar mucho en esa parte, que aparte lo contó él todo como muy bien de corrido. Y nada, tío, ¿qué te ha parecido la entrevista?
Pues esto es súper interesante, tío. Está un chaval de lo que tú dices, ¿no? Como Rocky, que a ver si termina así, porque el tío lo tiene súper claro, lo va a luchar. Según nos ha dicho él también, los entrenadores le dicen que es como una especie de navaja suiza. Ha comentado que aparte de jugar como running back, también, por ejemplo, que es retornador, que es capaz de hacer de long snapper. Es el pack completo este chaval.
Sí, hace de todo. Juega bien a baloncesto también. Yo sé que en high school jugaba bien a baloncesto y tal, pero claro, él le gustó siempre más el fútbol americano. Yo creo que este chico ahora si deja de jugar al fútbol americano, se viene para Europa y aún hace carrera jugando a baloncesto, ¿eh? Porque yo lo vi jugar y el chico juega bien, vi algún vídeo por ahí. Y no sé, tío, a mí, pues, ¿qué quieres que te diga? Se veía que estaba como las instalaciones, había gente pasando por detrás, en las instalaciones de Nevada y tal, y nada, tío, yo, pues, súper interesante todo lo que nos contó.
Por suerte esta vez no apareció nadie en tanga, pero bueno.
Sí, hostia, eso
El
es
que
una
sabe,
historia.
sabe.
Sí, esa es una historia muy buena que nos pasó en directo, que bueno, eso en comentarios si alguien está interesado de ese tema, que nos lo ponga y yo le refiero al vídeo que es, concretamente. Así que nada, tío, no voy a alargar mucho más esto, tío. Muchísimas gracias, ya te dejo disfrutar de tus vacaciones en el camping. Muchas gracias a la gente que, bueno, esto acaba de empezar, la gente se está suscribiendo, me está dando mensajes de cariño constantes. Yo estoy encantado y feliz de poder tener un pedacito de mí aquí, que al final pues es una parte de mí que donde voy a poder expandir mi locura básicamente, porque es lo que hago, pues un poco loco y tal, y puedo dar mi parte, mi fase creativa y un poco también donde te podemos tener las entrevistas, donde puedo hacer algún vídeo de estos míos así a lo mejor que, pues eso, que a mí, pues no sé, me dio por ahí y gracias a todos porque no me esperaba esta buena acogida. Así que nada, tío, muchas gracias, Bartu. Sabes que esta es tu casa. Te vamos a ver por aquí las veces que quieras y que puedas, tío. Y tío, nos vemos en la siguiente, ¿no? En cualquier momento vamos a aparecer por aquí.
Eso es. Con ruido de fiesta por detrás incluso, así que bueno, ya estoy dispuesto a lo que sea, Adri.
Muy bien, pues nada, ya sabéis, chavales. Os agradezco cualquier suscripción, un like, lo que queráis, ¿sabes? Lo que sea, pues muchísimas gracias. Podéis incluso hablar mal, que también, pues, ¿sabes? Como dicen uno que hasta está bien, que hasta habla mal de ti, que es hasta bueno, hasta la mala publicidad, así que nada. Gracias a todos y nos vemos en la siguiente. Chao, chao, chao.